little status check. Here's what things are looking like so far. And then here is going to be a 6x12. And here's what I'm thinking. I've got that black and white background that I can put opposite this black and white background. And I can add these cards in here. This ends up being a nice match to that too. But we've got red trim round here. And this has red as an accent. So I need to bring some red into this. And then I think the whole thing's going to come together pretty easily. Yes, it did come together really, really simply. I think it helped that these are ever so slightly smaller than 3x4 so that I still have a little bit of breathing room top and bottom when I add in the 3x4 card. The only thing you may have seen that I backed up on is I didn't like this sticker straight on that background because these stickers are a little thinner and the pattern showed through. So I decided to repeat that red over here, and I'm much happier with how that came out. So that's all done, and into the album it goes. With that page in the album, then when I turn the page to do the back of this one, I'm going to get this sky print. And I've got a 6x12 of that cloud print that I used at the very beginning. So we're going to have two different clouds there. I've got my two playground photos to put in here and this one. And I just feel like there's the potential to make this little grid here that will kind of fit together with that, which I would never have discovered if I were just making the pages individually. So this is kind of a fun little puzzle piece part of the game in how I'm going to approach it this year. So I do need to mark this off so that I can see kind of where that's going to sit. So I'm going to line up the 6x12 with the 12x12 and just kind of mark that's the top of the grid, and then the bottom is going to be about here. Then I can put this away and just make the 6x12 and then bring it back and hopefully have a lovely moment of wow. Yeah, I can use those colors and everything come together. Okay, I've got two photos and one 3x4 card, and I need to make a 2x2 grid. So I'm missing something. I'm going to go ahead and put the two photos up at the top in their place and then work out what can fill that other spot. So I know that my grid is going to be in between there, and I'm going to see how much space I need to go just a little bit closer to that left edge and the right edge. Now these photos are slightly smaller than what I had on the 12x12 because my marks are a little bit further out, but that is not a problem because I like to tuck things in. So I'm going to tuck some stuff in there. But I'm going to go ahead and grid this, which obviously this is going to be wider. So I need the piece here to be something smaller, and I have an idea. Remember that flower that I put in earlier? I'm going to put that flower in here. Yeah, but I'm going to need to cut a piece of paper to the right size here to fit. Okay, I can do some other bits first, and then I'm going to stamp that. Okay. So some tab bits up here to add a little bit of height so that this is going to feel similar to the weight of the grid that will be showing. Now, I don't really want it to be like that they are two separate pages that then you fold it over, and it's not like a pop-up book kind of thing where you're going to create a new page by folding this half page over. But just in finding that in the album that this is what I was going to put there anyway, and then there's this nice happy mix-up that could work, I'm here for that challenge. Yeah, I'm here for finding those lines and deciding that maybe that's what to do. Okay, that floral that I used before is here in a circle. So I'm going to use this up here in this corner and tuck it in. And then I'm going to go to that colorful phrase page. Oh, this one. And I'd like to have a strip of pink up here. Yeah, here's one that'll work. So this one says, see the good. And going to the playground first thing in the morning when it was empty was very good for us in January. Okay, so to continue this kind of grid feel, and bring that over, and it's going to end in line with the right-hand edge of that photo. Now, let's get some smooth paper to stamp on, and I'm not going to die cut it this time. And you know what? Why don't I go ahead and blend the colors first this time, so then you can see an example of both options, and you can decide if that's something that you want to try. Okay, so in this space here, I'm going to blend those same 3 colors. Just cover up my desk for a second here so it's okay for me to make a mess. Right. So I've got spun sugar, speckled egg, walnut stain. Woo-hoo. There we go. So this time I'm going to do the blending first, and then I'll stamp over the top. And you can see the difference in the two styles and see what you think. And you can make an educated decision on which one you want to do yourself if you're going to follow along. Or if you want to adapt this to some other idea. Now, I had a little bit of a Rothko moment there, and the blue decided to overtake the pink, but I think I claimed part of the pink back. It's okay. Right. Now, ink over the top of that this time instead of underneath. See, this time the black ink is much clearer. All right, and then to trim this into a grid, well, into a box to fit this grid. So this is the same height now as that, but this is the right space, or right size to fit in that space. And bring this brown around these edges. Pop this over here. Now, the way that I stamp this, the flowers are up at the top, but not at the bottom, because I'm going to add some stickers to that bottom edge there. So let's find some phrases to fit across there. Okay, so how am I going to journal on this one, and where is it going to get a title? All that good stuff. So let's have a look at the lettering that I've got here, and is there something that might work? And of course this needs some confetti to finish it. So I'm going to bring my pink dots in here. And I'll do one little grouping up here as well. Right, and time to get the album back out and see how it all works together. So we're here, and this one is going to go just there. There is how this will work. And I've just continued this grid, but they still feel like separate entries, but I do like that how there's not a picture of his face close up over here. So this reminds you that this is the same child. In case you were missing that part of the narrative, it's pretty hard in my album to miss that bit, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. Okay, that means that what I have left now, status check, is one 12 by 12 pocket page, front and back, and then to come back to that front page and finish this little detail here. Right, I'm going to take this page protector out of the album so that I can figure out how this one will all come together. So I've got one side of this that's going to be school stuff and one that's going to be building plus the post. I'm going to put the building stuff on the first page that you see because the school pictures have the desk all finished and him sitting at the desk. So I just feel like chronologically we need to see it built first rather than sitting at it and then seeing it be built. Okay, so let's work out where all of this can go. With the photos all trimmed, I have a plan, I think. Okay, so this one is the earliest shot, which has everything still, well, not everything in pieces, but a lot of building work still happening. And I thought about putting the goals card with it, but actually I kind of like bringing that down here. So I'm going to have more like a title space up at the top and the goals card down here. And then stages of building. So I've got the unpacking and I've got him hiding and I've got a finished moment on the desk. So this section of the page will all be about building. And then this line across the bottom will be about things that came in the post. Yes? Now, I need some cards. So I've got two in pink. So I thought I could do top there and bottom here in pink. And then bring the turquoise up there and the polka dot here. No, other way around. Let's try the other way around. That polka dot is just too busy to be almost entirely filled with the two photos. Yeah, that's much nicer. But these are smaller than the 3x4 pocket, so I need 3 pieces to go across there. Now, I have more of the aqua. This is the last big piece, even 3x4 or 4x6 piece I've got of those original papers. I do have the red stripe, but I might have more that matches this color scheme because this was from that first collection. And I was thinking I could fill those with something from here that would bring all those colors together, like this one. Yeah, let's try that. Let's first check, because sometimes page protectors are, see, it's too small. So I need to trim that down just a tiny bit. And when I know that that will fit, then I can use that one. Let me just check all of them. then I'll use that one to cut the other papers to the right size. Yeah. Now, the photos make this super easy because basically what they're going to do is just be stuck onto each of their blocks and then have the odd sticker added over the top. Nothing fancy, nothing earth-shattering. Picking the papers is probably the most fun of this part. And then I enjoy stickers, so it's all good, it's all good. I don't feel like I need to invent a new technique for all of these or anything like that. Keeping it simple here is absolutely fine. This one down here. This one up here. I like that this design on the pink card repeats. So each of them have a photo the same size in the same place. Journaling's going to go on there, and then look. I was thinking I would need to keep this until there was like an empty pocket and I wanted it to show through. But I actually like it on top of the gold, or on top of the black and white. The gold on top of the black and white is cool. So says I. So I'm going to leave it like that. Right, stickers. So let's have some phrases and thingamabobs. Yes. All right. Give all these brown edge. So I'm going to bring the wood grain in up here because the wood grain is certainly relevant with all the building photos. And what can I put down here? I'd like to repeat that with a circle down here at the bottom. Oh, I like this one. There's one that's just an ampersand. And so this could be used to be like, and here's the end of this, you know, and here's another story. So I like that. Okay. Then phrases. Just little things that will help these all make sense. Trying to see if there's a phrase appropriate for these down here. There's a lot of words to read through. Okay. Oh, I wanted a colorful one for here. Let's have this one that says, "Can't stop, awesome." That seems appropriate. Okay, stickers done. Lettering. So those giant wood grain ones are too giant. I need smaller letters. And I brought these out with the gold foil and I haven't used them, and I've got that gold foil star going on. So let's do that. Lettering's all done, journaling's all done, it needs confetti, and then it will also be done. So same thing. I'm going to bring in some yellow up here because there's not any yellow in this yet, so I'm going to add it in. Just in little triangles, like that, and then bring one down here too. That same spot with the round sticker. Yeah. And then also the pink Now, you could just put it on another card if the photo isn't one where it seems to work. But this one has so much open space that this seems okay. That's actually all I'm going to add to this one. I'm going to go ahead and put these pieces all in the pockets. Now, this piece up here, I'm not going to add anything to it at the moment. I kind of want to add something to it, but I'm not sure what, and I've put half a dozen things up there and with the star, and nothing made my heart sing. So I'm going to leave it as it is. And sometimes I have this part of my process where I don't have the right thing right now. I'm not 100% sure that it needs to be that plain. And so I just put it in the album and live with it. And because I'm constantly opening my album and flipping through, then I find out if that's the right call to leave it quite plain and minimal, or if the right call is to go back and add more. And here's why. If you're constantly going through your book, because that's how you're building your pages and how you're telling those stories, every time you see this page, notice your reaction to the thing that you're not 100% sure about. And it doesn't need to be a pocket page. It could be a detail on a 12 by 12 or anything like that. But if every time I flip the page I go, this is so empty, then it needs to change. If within a few weeks I flip the page and I'm not noticing it anymore, then that's the right call. And that's how it works for me. Okay, so I want to pretty much repeat that kind of process now with the school stories. That can go right here. If I have the potential to do this as a row, this is my favorite way to do that. To have 3 photos and the card goes there. I always default to that arrangement. So I'll see where the photos should go here. I might put all 3 photos straight across there. And what paper is going to go where. So I still have enough to do some in this. So I could repeat that idea of doing the diagonal with the same paper. So I can put that up here and down here, and then I've got 2 that I could put in here in the middle. Now, I also have 2 of these that I haven't used, and I'm not seeing a place where I'm going to. I could use maybe this here, but I like the Rise and Shine better. But I could use that B-side, because that would pull it all together. And I don't have more of my other polka dot paper that I was using. So I think the B-sides here are the perfect way to fill this up. Now I could leave this just as it is, but I'd kind of like to bring in the pink a little bit more. And I have these scraps, so I'm going to just bring in 2 semicircles. And keeping in mind that idea that when I had trouble with the title on the 6 by 12, I added a circle to make it fit. So I feel like adding a circle is thematic here. It's something that I can easily take through. Now, do I need to have a reason to add a circle? No. A circle is almost always a nice, easy addition to a design. But I'm thinking that it just might work well above these titles. And then this one's already in line, but just needs the ink, and this one needs trimming. And then that inked. And then a little something over the top of that. So let's go here. Let's see if I can add just a nice simple shape. Yeah, here's what I was thinking. Because I've added a few little hearts in. 1, 2, 3. So I was wondering if I had enough hearts in here that I could add a couple to these, and I can. So I can have those two there, and then come down and do the same with this bottom box. And I'll need to do red, looks like, to go with this one, like that. And maybe a phrase. Let's see what we got. I've got an embrace today. Yeah, needs the edges in brown though. And for this one down here, let's do, oh, I've got a January. I might as well add in the January label because this is January finished. So if I don't put it in, I won't use it at all. There we go. Okay. So that is this side done, which means the only thing I have left is to go back to that title page and figure out the left-hand side. And now that I've written all the journaling and all these things and used all the supplies that I pulled out and stuck these cards together. Hold on, there we go. I know I have a much better feel for what I want to put on there. And I'm going to use all the scraps of pattern paper that I have left here. And should I put that right side up? Yeah. And some journaling on the left hand side of the title page. So hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit there. This one in there, this one in here. So front, back, lovely. This into the album then. After that 6 by 12, then this one. I like how all these colors are adding up to kind of make a nice feel for the month, even though I did the 3 12 by 12s without having any sort of plan of what was going to happen. But this is what needs finishing, and this could do with a little bit of confetti. So let's get this one out. Finish it up. So I've got the scraps that I have left. I have 3 by 4 in that, and this much in the others. Is this everything? Let me just double check. Now I could bring in that one that I've got a bit of that too. Might as well use it since I started that. And then I have this red. I don't know that I want to bring the red in on here. I think I might leave the red off the first page. So what I want to do is then just cut these all into rectangles. Get rid of the pieces like that. And I don't want any of the rectangles to be wider than this gap. So that one's okay. But maybe this one needs to be, maybe they all need to be a quite similar width. They also should be cut straight, which I did not do just then. Okay. There. Let's have some clouds. I'll straighten that edge up too. The polka dot. Then that one. And that actually works out quite well. Okay, So I kind of want to scatter these like that. Maybe I just need one more little bit at the top. And you know what I've been keeping out this whole time was this branding strip, because it has the polka dot on the background, and that's the other polka dot, and that's going to be just right. So let's cut that here. Okay, then all of these need ink, and the journaling's going to go over the top, sort of. It'll work. So all finished now and everything's in the album. Let's have a look. So this is what it looks like. I've added a little bit of confetti to the first page, but not very much. Journaling here and here. Then the 3 12x12s. 6x12 front and back. And the divided page protector front and back, 12x12 one. And that's everything from January. And that includes everything in my photo library that I went through and decided, do I want to make this a big story like 12x12? Is it something that I want to include, but I really don't need to spend a whole page on it? And then that's all included here now. Now I'm really, really not worried about some magical element of keeping up. That's never been my style. I really always want to just work on stories as I feel like it. And I jump back and forth in time, and I just know that I know what album a layout is going to go in, so I can look at that album and make it all make sense. So if I don't return to this every single month, that's okay. And I might do that with time. I might stay on top of it throughout 2021. We'll see what happens. And I'll share whatever I do end up adding here with you. But I may not do it on a really regimented schedule where it's the first week of the following month, I must figure this out. Because sometimes I like to work with those photos a little while longer and then decide which ones are going to be a bigger story, which ones will be a smaller story. And that all just kind of falls into place when it does. I don't feel like there needs to be any reason that any of us put pressure on ourselves to have that done at a certain date, a certain time. This is for enjoyment, not for stress. So don't add any stress to scrapbooking. It's not here for stress. It's here for joy. It's here for your personal therapy, if you like. But it's definitely something to do out of the enjoyment of it, not because you feel like there's any sort of obligation. There's not. So anything like this, if you want to adapt ideas like this or whatever ideas you might already be using, please don't feel like you have to do everything on a certain schedule and you must be caught up. Or if you've taken a break and you're coming back and you're seeing this and you're like, but I haven't scrapbooked for the last 10 years, I have to catch up. No, you don't. I will tell you over and over again, and if you need me to come cheer you on and remind you that you don't need to catch up, I will do that for you. Just take the photos that are inspiring you at any point in time and go ahead and enjoy working with those pictures in your album. Now, one last little note that I wanted to give, because I know this will come up. So there's no photos here and there's no photos here. And this is kind of like, there's not a lot of meaning here. And I like how it looks, but I can see if you're already thinking, well, that's kind of a quote unquote waste, because there's no photos being included. There's no journaling in what I can see here. And here's what I would say. I'm following what photos I wanted to include. So I wanted this in a page, and I don't have anywhere else where this would fit. So I need this front bit in order to have the back bit. Does that make sense? So to me, if I've already got that required, then if I want to spend the other side with something that's just pretty and calming, and it does give you a road marker as you're going through. Like that will repeat, and you'll see each month arrive in the album, so it will become a chapter divider, and that makes a lot of sense to me as I build an album. But if you had more photos, you could put more photos and more stories here. You don't need to have one that's just pretty, but you can if you want. It's your album. All right. Thank you so much for joining me for this massive video with all of this philosophy on how I'm going to work in my album this year. If you have questions about anything in this process that you want to see me cover in future months, please let me know. I'm more than happy to take those requests on board, and I hope to bring you an update in this series soon, along with my other 12 by 12 videos. Right? So have a wonderful day. If you enjoyed this, I would really appreciate you giving it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content like this, you can always click that subscribe button and stick around. That would be great. Thanks so much, and enjoy all your scrapping. I hope to see you soon.